Hi, this is Jerry LaMonaco, one of your Greece Instructional and Technology teachers. This video is going to show you how to get started with Windows 10 once it gets on your computer, and it's just going to be a basic video as to, you got it, and what do you do now? On our website, there is going to be some more advanced features or some new features. To find that, if you just go to our webpage by going to our website, going to the Staff Quick Links, go to Instructional Tech, and then on this page you'll see a Windows 10 and Microsoft Office link. Here we're going to start embedding more and more videos that will show you how to do other features, other newer features in Windows 10 and Microsoft Office. So feel free to come back here at any time. This video will also be located here so that you can find it in this playlist. And by clicking on that, you could go and see some of the videos that we've already posted. So one of the first things you probably want to know how to do is how to find a program. Like in Windows 7, the Start menu is back. Those of you that were really afraid of Windows 8, Windows did bring the Start menu back. So you could go to the Start menu, and up top, just like in the old one, you have some of your more commonly used programs, some suggested things that you can use, settings and everything else. And if you need to find all of your apps, because now they're calling it all apps instead of all programs, you could find all of those here. And one of the neat things that you can do is you could customize these tiles to be what you want. So I could right click on the Xbox and unpin it from Start. Let's say I want to move Microsoft Word in. I could just drag that into this area and it will show up, and I could move this around anywhere that I want. And there is another video on our website that it goes into a little bit more detail. The other thing that you could do with Word, it's probably a program that you're going to use fairly often. So instead of putting it in the Start menu, you can right click on Word here in all programs, and you could go to More and put it into Pin to Taskbar. And what this does, it leaves it down here at the bottom so that no matter what program you're in, you can find it. And like everything else, you can move these around to be in a spot that you would like better. You can also remove things from here, like let's say you don't need the web store. I could right click on this and go to Unpin from Taskbar, and that will remove it from my list. So I'm going to unpin it from the taskbar, and that removes it from my list. The other way that you could find a program, so let's say you wanted to add Microsoft Excel down here at the bottom, instead of going to the Start menu, going to All Apps and trying to find it, you can use Cortana down here and just type in Excel. And if you look, as you type it in, it pops up. I could either click on this to open the app. I could also right click and do Pin to Taskbar. And once again, it puts it down here so that you can move it around any way that you want. And probably another app that you'd want to use is Outlook. So once again, I'm going to search down here at the bottom. I'm going to find it, and because this is again something that I use very often, I could right click on it, and I'm going to pin it to my taskbar and move it to a location that I like best. When you open up Outlook for the first time on the computer, it's something that you did way back when you got Windows 7 for the first time, but here you got to let it run. So I'm logged into my computer on the network. I'm going to click on Outlook. We're going to let it run through our little profile, so I'm going to hit Next. I'm going to let it go through, make all the checks, finish, and it's going to take a little bit for it to load the first time, but after the first time it loads, it will open up faster and faster every time. Once everything is loaded, most people have a signature that they want to add so that it's down at the bottom of all of their new email. So we found the best way to add a signature is if you go up to New Email, go up to Signature, and then Signatures, you can now create a new signature. So I'm going to click on New. I'm just going to call this Signature. Select OK, and you can actually create multiple signatures if you need them. Down here at the bottom, I already have a signature that I've already copied. I'm just going to paste it in, so it has my basic information here as far as my name, what I am, as far as what I do, and some other little things that I want to add. And I'm going to come up to here where it says Choose Default Signature. I'm going to make my new message and my replies the same signature. You could create multiple signatures and have it show up differently for new messages and for replies, meaning all of my new messages has all of my information, and then maybe my replies I can make it shorter. Of course, you could also create it for maybe you have different titles that you have in the district and you want to create a different signature for each one. I'm going to select OK. I'm going to close out of this email, and now the next time I create a new email, if you notice, my signature is going to be attached. So now that's how you add your signature. Another thing that I would like to show you is that, because it's a common thing in our district, is that we get some of these bogus emails that says your email is full, you have to do whatever, click on this link, and then it asks you to put in your personal information. We just want to let you know the district will never ask you to click on a link and put in any of your personal information. And some of the key things to look at on here is, number one, where it came from. It's not from a Grease account. Number two, it's asking you to click on a link and then add your information, and that will never happen. All of these emails will come from a GreaseCSD account, and they'll just be telling you, hey, you need to start cleaning it up, and give you the instructions on what to do to clean up. There won't be a link unless it's a link to a video that might explain how. To block this, all you need to do is, once you get this and you're like, okay, I know this really isn't what I want, just right click on the email over here in the inbox, go to junk, and then select block sender. And what that will do from this point on is, if you get another email from that person, it will immediately go into your junk folder and it'll be stored there. The next thing I'd like to do is show you how to find all of your documents on any of your drives. So I'm going to close out of Outlook here, and I'm going to open up the Windows Explorer down here at the bottom. I'm going to click on the folder. If I go to this PC, I'll once again see all of my drives, including my X drive and everything that I have in it. Of course, you could still go to the desktop, documents, wherever else that you would store documents. So it'll be the little Windows Explorer icon down here at the bottom. Another common task, usually when you call TSS to explain that you have some situation going on your computer, and they ask, hey, what's your show name? Well, they're changing that now to what Windows actually calls it, which is the computer name. So it's no longer going to be called the show name, it's actually going to be called the computer name. To find the computer name, all you're going to do is you're going to right click, not left click, but right click on the Windows Start menu. You're going to go up to System, and then about halfway down you'll see Computer Name, and then you'll see the computer name there. So this is the name that you're going to want to give somebody from TSS when they call and say, hey, can you give me your show name, so that they can remote in. The next thing is to find out how to get to some of the settings on your computer, like to adjust different displays, or adding Bluetooth devices, or adding some kind of connection. To get to that, one way is you go to the Start menu, you go to Settings, and here you'll see for the system things, accounts, devices. So that's one way to get to it. And this has some limited things that you can do as far as changing those settings. Another way is, if you're familiar with it, is the control panel. To get to the control panel, you're going to right click on the Start menu and go to Control Panel, and this will take you to something that you might be a little bit more familiar with, that what looks like what was in Windows 7, which is your typical control panel. If you need to adjust your screen resolution, if you need to set it so that if you have dual screens and you want to extend the display as opposed to duplicate the display, to do that, just like in Windows 7, you're going to right click, you're going to go to Display Settings. Here you're going to have most of the settings as far as extending these displays, duplicating, or whatever. If you need to change the resolution, you would go to the Advanced Display Settings. From here you can now change, this is where you would change the resolution. You could also change the text size and everything else here too. Setting a default program is a little bit different in Windows 10 as it was in Windows 7. There's one extra step that you would have to use. So one of the ones that I'm going to show you is, I personally like to use Google Chrome as my default browser. So once I get Chrome opened up, because this isn't my default browser at the moment, I want to make it that. I'm going to go up to the hamburger menu, I'm going to go to Settings, and then I'm going to select Make Chrome the default browser. So once I do this, this will make it so that whenever I click on any web link, whether it's in my email or anything else, it's going to open up Chrome. You could also do this for any audio files, and you'll be taken to a similar screen once you click on Make Default. So I'm going to select Make Chrome the default browser, and it's not changed yet. It's going to open up this window, and if you look underneath web browser, I'm going to change it from Microsoft Edge, which is their new version of their web browser. So Internet Explorer is kind of going away, and they're going to be replacing it with Microsoft Edge. But for now, I want to make Chrome my default browser because that's my preferred browser. So I'm going to left click on it, go to Google Chrome, and now this is now my default browser. Another item that I've been asked to explain, you actually have 3 web browsers on your computer at this time. One is you're going to have Google Chrome, which is the one, like I said, that I use as my default browser. You're going to have Microsoft Edge, which is Microsoft's new browser. And you're also going to have Internet Explorer. The school district has put Internet Explorer on all of our machines simply because the new systems don't use the new browsers. Chrome or Internet Explorer won't run things like ActiveX or anything like that. So there are some websites that you'll need to use Internet Explorer for. So if you find that whatever you're trying to do doesn't work in Edge or Chrome, you're going to go to Internet Explorer. The easiest way to find it is you're going to come down next to the Start menu and just type in Internet Explorer. And if you look, I just typed in INT and it showed up. And now I could click on this. And if you look, this is now opened up Internet Explorer. So the reason why I would use this is because whatever the website is you're trying to go to does not work in Chrome, does not work in Microsoft Edge, so you have to use Internet Explorer. And of course, another thing you're going to have to do is add a printer, because now that your computer has been re-imaged to Windows 10, all the printers that you had loaded are not there, so you have to re-add the printer. To do that, left click on the Start menu, go to Settings, you're going to go to Devices, and this looks a little bit different than what we've used before. You're going to go to Add a Printer, we're going to let this load, and you're going to see a whole list of printers. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see the printer that you want wasn't listed. So you're going to select that. This is to the familiar screen. You're going to go to Find a Printer on the directory, go to Next, and then from here, it should be populated with whatever place that you're in. And you can now go in and find the printer that you're looking for. If you know part of the name of the printer that you're looking for, because you know what room you're in or whatever else, you could type in a partial name by typing in star, which is Shift 8, part of the name. So I know on this printer that it was in District Office E62, and then do star again, and this is a part of the name. So if I hit Find Now, it'll show me all of the machines that are in E62. I could have also done it where I know what the model is, so it's an X7845, and once again I'm just adding star, and what the star does is it says you don't care what's in front, you don't care what comes after, you just know this is a part of the name. And if you do a search, you'll see all of the 7845s that are located in District Office, and then you could select what printer you want and then select OK, and this will then load the drivers for that printer. And it'll say it's been installed. Select Next. If you want to make it your default printer, you can put the checkbox there, hit Finish, and now you have a printer that's installed on your computer that you can use. One of the last things I'd like to do is show you how to either shut down, log off. So I'm going to go to the Start menu down at the bottom. I'm going to select my name up at the top, and I have Lock, Sign Out, or Switch Account. So from this point, you can either lock or sign out of your computer. If you needed to shut down, an easy way to do that is to right-click on the Start menu, go to Sign Out or Shut Down, and then once again you could sign out, set it, put it to sleep, shut it down, or restart your computer. Now if you notice, one of your options under left-clicking and going up top was locking. Locking will put a lock on your computer so that any of the applications that you have opened up will stay there. So let's say I was working on something on the website and I wanted to come back to it later, I can lock my computer. So I could go to the Windows button, go up to my name, select Lock, and what this will do is it puts a lock screen on my computer. If I press Control-Alt-Delete, it's going to still have my name. It'll ask me to put in my password, and this will bring me right back to where I was so that I wouldn't lose any work, but also nobody can get at my data that I have on my computer. So that is most of the basics that you would need as far as getting going on your computer. So at this point, if you want to stop the video, you can. If not, and you want to kind of keep going, I'm going to just show you a couple little tricks that you can do to be a little bit more productive. One is being able to customize the Start menu. So once again, I could come up to the Start menu, And I could customize this. Like if I don't want to use this mail because it's not Outlook, I could unpin it from the start. I could get rid of any of the other things that I don't want to use. I could also move things around, so I can create a whole new section, say for Office, and I can move any of the Office products that I want, whether it's Word, Excel. So I'm going to right click and I am going to pin it to start, so that now it's one of the ones that I have and I can move this around. Or let's say I don't use Excel that often, so I could actually resize this to be a smaller icon, so I could have a group of small ones if I wanted. So it allows you to customize it in any way that you want. You can also name this group, so I could click up here and call this Office, and you could do this for things that you use most often. You could do games or whatever else that you want, and you could also move these around so that it's customized and it's in an easy spot for you. Another feature that a lot of people like is how to minimize all of your items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a bunch of programs. So I got Excel opened up. I'm going to open up Word. I'm going to open up Outlook. I'm going to open up Chrome. So right now I have a whole bunch of programs that I have opened up on my computer. So what I'm going to do to get this smaller is in the lower right hand corner there's this little bar right next to the clock, and if I just left click on that, what that will do is minimize all of my applications so that I'm back to the desktop. So you can quickly do that just to close out of all of your applications, then you can go back and add one. Another feature that a lot of people like is the snapping tool. You were able to do this in Windows 7, and they've kind of improved on this, and I'm just going to kind of show you quickly. Is if you wanted to put something on a half screen, if I was to left click up top on this bar and drag down, I now have Microsoft Word, and I'm keeping the left click held. If I only want this on half the page, if I drag it all the way over to the left where my cursor touches the left side, what you're going to notice is you're going to see it highlight on the left side, and when I let go, I now have just Word open up on the left hand side of the screen. I can then take another application and have that opened up, and I just selected that. It automatically came up, and that will be on the right. So I could have two windows opened up on a half screen. So once again, I just dragged it to the side. It showed me my other applications, and to get whatever on the other side, I would just click on that other application and it will show up on the other side. So now I could use this in a way like a mini dual screen and have it perfectly sized. If you have any questions about how to use Windows 10 or Microsoft Office, please let Jerry LaMonica or Joe Lombardo know, and you could give them an email at joseph.lombardo@greasecsd.org or jerome.lamonica@greasecsd.org. Thank you.